So good morning and welcome to day 2 of the Creative Cards Kickstart. We're so excited that you have come back and joined us for the second day. How are you doing, Karen?
I'm doing great. Yesterday was so much fun.
Yeah, yeah. What was your favorite part of yesterday?
Um, Reading the comments. I settle in afterwards and just the stories people share. I pulled a few funny and favorite and touching ones out, but we could go on and on. I just think our shared stories just makes the world go round. I guess that's
Yeah, absolutely. And it was so fun to see the cards that people shared, and their whys for why they want to get more creative. Um, in fact, let's share a couple of the whys that we got. So I'm going to start our slides and takes just a second for it to come up. Karen, let me know when you see that come up just so that I know it's visible.
yes.
All right. So one of the things we were talking about yesterday was why would you want to be more creative? So if you missed yesterday, we highly encourage you to go back and check out the replay because we talked about a lot of different reasons why you might want to be creative and why it's helpful for us to grow in our creativity, which is what we're trying to do here during these 3 days. So I wanted to share a few of the comments that we got about why some of you want to be creative. So Kathy said she likes making cards. It's a way that she can talk to people and let them know that they're thought of. That's so true. And it's so much more personal, I think, than just a text message to somebody, or a Facebook message. But sending a handmade card with a little note, even if it's just as simple as, hey, I was thinking of you today, and pop that card in the mail. Marilyn said she wants to use the talent that God has given her to make others happy. She creates to share and hopes the recipient enjoys it as much as she enjoys making art and cards. So, I mean, Karen, don't you find that true? Like, we enjoy the process just as much as the recipient enjoys our end product.
Yes, comes full circle. I think it has so many layers to it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's too much, too much. I don't know how to
And
get out.
then Betsy said, let's see here. Betsy said I love thinking I'm making people smile when they receive my cards, especially the foster kids and elderly that receive my cards. It gives purpose and meaning to my card making hobby. And I just think that's such a wonderful treat for those kids and the elderly that you're serving, Betsy. And then just a couple of more. Ethel told us that her church has a saying, we're blessed to be a blessing. She leads a group of ladies who make cards to send out to people who need encouragement. We bless others through these cards, and I'm blessed by the fellowship and friendship of these ladies. I love making cards and challenging myself to improve my skills. So we talked about yesterday how being creative can help us with being in community and, growing together as we craft together. So I thought that was a really neat statement that Ethel put out there. And then the last one I have from Susan, it gives me a chance to inspire and teach others as I learn and grow myself. Create something that will bring a smile to someone's face. We all need happy mail in our lives. Sometimes it's about enjoying the journey and not worrying about the destination, a great way to escape from the stress of day-to-day life. I think crafting is a great way to de-stress from life. So just a way to relax and do something totally different. So
I want to add one more. Barbara said, she says, cards are my passion. Smiles are my mission. That's why I make cards. And I thought that's such a great purpose statement for making
yeah.
cards. So and repeat that, cards are my passion. Smiles are my mission. Because it just,
Yeah.
to think that we get to use something that we love and impact others.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I kind of
Mhm.
want that as a tagline, like on a sticker.
I know. I want that. I will keep that and I will use it. Thank you, Barbara. That is just such a
Yeah.
perfect way of putting it. And then I just have to remember Barbara's name to credit her for it. So
Yeah.
I mean to. Barbara, you're in my
Oh, yeah, you
I
guys.
Mhm.
There were so many great reasons why you like to be creative. It was very hard, but we had to randomly pick 10 people, and the 10 people that you see listed here. So, and I put their state or country where they're from as well. So, Betsy Cousins Coleman, Susan Grooms, Ethel King, Kathy Soch, Mickey Matos, Sharon Wynn, Kathy Winters, Marilyn Amons, Beth Strickland, and Dawn Davis. And I will tell you right now, I'm probably butchered some of those names, and I'm so sorry. But I'm guessing. I'm just having to guess how you say your name. But we have your addresses. When you registered, you gave us your address. And so you guys are going to get some happy mail after the Kickstart. And we're super excited by a sticker collection we have created. And so you're going to get some fun happy mail from us after this. So, all right. The other challenge that we gave you was a card makeover. So we told you to choose a card. We showed the bird card that Karen had yesterday. And do you have that handy, Karen? By
Yes.
chance? I know I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't tell you.
No, I do.
Okay, in case somebody
Right
wasn't
here.
here and you haven't seen the replay yet, this was the card that we started with. And we asked you to change 3 things and make it your own. So here's a card from Kathy Doyle. And so she embossed behind the under the banner. She turned the direction of the card. She added baker's twine around the layer instead of bling, and she used the die cut as the focal point instead of the birds that you see on Karen's card.
And look what you did with the twine. I think what a fun, creative way of doing that.
Yeah, such a neat way to wind it around. All right, we got another card here from Sherry Sutter. She also changed the orientation of the card. She used a square for her focal point, and she moved and embossed the sentiment. And you can see some vellum there too in her square layers behind the card, the car, which I think is kind of fun. So, and then let's see, I think I have another one on here. So from Gwen Cooper, she changed the orientation. She added a mat to the front of her card, and she changed the focal point from circle to rectangle. So, and these look like totally different cards, but all
Oh,
they
you'd
did,
never know they came from this as
yeah,
the inspiration. And there were so many wonderful comments yesterday about you guys saying that this really helped you look at things differently. By the time you've changed 3 things, it is totally different. So I wrote a nice note to Linda Heller and said, we need to interview you sometime because this idea is just genius.
absolutely.
So thrilled, but I love that. And I wanted to mention a couple of comments that people made when they were talking about this. Mary Jean said, my card did not turn out the way I envisioned, just morphed along the way to completion. That's what this is about. And I thought it's so fun to read that, how sometimes you have this preconceived idea, but when we become a creative, we also go with the flow and we look at changing things. Eileen says, I know this is more than 3, but once I got started, I couldn't help myself. And I just thought, being playful and having fun. And then Connie, this was hilarious. So I challenged myself to not get up to find any supplies, just use what's out. So I used an old card front, torn brown paper from a paper bag, scraps from my stash, and a die cut left over on my desk. And I thought, oh, that's taking this to the nth degree, but how
Yeah,
fun is that to share
that's so great.
these stories?
And what a clever way to clean up your space
Yes,
by
that would
having
be
to
a
use what's in
challenge.
front of you. I mean, I think most of us probably have a lot of supplies sitting right in front of us that we could use up.
Yes.
So, I start my craft project with, this much free space on my desk. And by the time I'm finished, I have like this much space that I'm crafting on. So there's always lots of supplies sitting around that we can use up. Well, before we jump into our adventure for today, there is one other person on our team that we want to introduce you to. So I am going to find her because you need to know that Karen and I, we don't do this by ourselves. We have a team that works the three of us that work together, and we are so grateful for the help of Narsh, and I'm being tested in my alphabet skills to find her. There she is. So I'm gonna bring Narsh on here. And she has been with us on our team for is it 3 years, Narsh? 2 years?
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
So I wanted you guys to have the chance to meet her as well, because you might see her name pop up in the Facebook group, as she responds to your messages and helps you, especially if you're having trouble logging into anything, or have questions about this challenge. She has been a tremendous help in putting together our PDFs and helping you guys all get in the Facebook group. So we wanted to put a face to her name.
And where does she live?
Yeah, so hi everyone. I'm Narch and I'm from the Philippines. So good evening. I've been working with Karen and Holly for almost 3 years. I started in 2022, and I'm so grateful for Karen and Holly. It's such a blast meeting them and working with them, and I'm so grateful that I got introduced to this awesome community. So yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
Rosie says you are a wonderful addition to our team. So
oh, it
thank
is. And
you.
Narsh started with us part-time, and now she is our social media manager. She is full-time, and that's what we call her. I said, I just think this is so fun. She's just taken on lots more responsibilities, and she lets us know what she's up for doing. And she's up for doing anything. We just totally appreciate seeing how she has contributed and how we've all grown through this together. I think we just have a great team with the three of us. So, so grateful to you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Narsh.
Yay.
Oh, what time is it in the Philippines?
It's 11:15 p.m.
Okay, so now she can have her evening. When we do our online card retreats, she stays up and responds to questions and does all that, because we're on opposite time zones. So kudos to her.
Well, I enjoy it, so it's all good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Narsh, for being with us. All right, so I am going to go back to our slides.
I want to mention a couple of things. Can I read a couple of things, or do you want to pull up slides?
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to pull up the slides only because I forgot to share a card and the winners.
Well,
we didn't get to the prizes, which people might really want. But I will leave up this card right now. And why don't you share what you wanted to share, and then we'll go back to the cards.
I just want to share, because I just love the meaning behind what we do. And these are just a couple of stories that hit me that Robin wrote, that she was, and I think a lot of us can relate to this, and it just speaks to the power of what we do. I was told by a teacher in grade school I had no artistic talent. So at first, I didn't want to make cards until a friend convinced me to try. Now, every time I make a card, I'm so delighted with the results that I have to share, and she gives them to churches and stuff. And I thought, that also talks about the power of words. And we all have the power of words too, but that's such an unfair thing for a teacher. But I know a lot of us have similar stories about that and I think education has improved in that part. But look what we get to do to help someone change their feelings about themselves and to experience something. And I also love this. Pam wrote, my husband passed away 23 years ago. I was an elementary teacher with 3 children. My coworkers gave me tons of cards to send out. Later, they taught me to make cards, and this has been my passion ever since. What really hit me about that was another use for our cards. Anyone going through something hard where they're going to need a bunch of thank you cards, I think the pleasure of looking at your basket of cards that you have been given to send out, that is a gift to that person, because you're just thinking about how much they cared. And then you have cards that they're ready to send out. And it's like a tangible, little but meaningful thing that we can do in times of need. And I just love that. And look how that brought her into the whole card making thing. I just love that. And then a couple of just fun things. Pat, a shout out to Pat here for you, whatever her name is. She goes, today at age 78 was the first time I ever posted anything with a hashtag. You ladies are really challenging me. And I thought, oh, we're celebrating that. We love to challenge each other. And then this is the other thing. Look, I printed this out and I didn't mean to do it in color. I remember this. Debbie Culbertson, I had to write this. She said, "Why do you want to be more creative? I like to make special cards for my grandkids featuring things they like. My grandson was into Minecraft. I made him a Minecraft card for his birthday. He didn't think it looked like one of the characters. He said, 'That's okay, Grandma. You tried your hardest.'" Made me want to get more creative to impress him. What I love about that is what this means. That is a family story. It is the interaction. It is the reality about kids saying whatever they think. I just think it is absolutely delightful. So anyway, I just had to share a few humorous
Oh,
things.
I love that.
Fun.
Oh, kids say the greatest things. Well, I just realized that I forgot to share another one of the cards that with our card makeover yesterday. So this is Beverly Trabinello. And so she layered the card front with some beautiful foil, and she used an oval for the focal point and then embossed the strip that goes across the front of the card.
These are all amazing cards, and these are just a handful. I just could not believe going through and thinking all of this came from one card idea, and we could just use that forever. That would be it. But
yeah, well, and if you need more ideas, go back and look at the challenge post from yesterday. You can see there's I think there's a couple hundred cards that have been posted on there, and so you can get all sorts of ideas for how you could change the original design and just change 3 things and make it your own. So I really think the ideas are endless. So we did narrow it down and randomly pick 10 of you. So we've got Deb Ludwig, Krista Smith, Kathy Doyle, Gwen Cooper, Beverly Trabinello, Sherry Sutter, Lynn Schleitweiler, Nadine Barnhart, and Holly Marino, and Deborah Ramos. So like I said, we have your addresses, so we'll be sending you some happy mail and a prize after the Kickstart. But we're so excited that you guys participated, and stay tuned. We'll have another challenge for you towards the end of this session. So this session, day 2, is our mystery stamping adventure. So we posted a couple days ago, I guess, the supplies that we wanted you to have for today. So this is just your reminder of the supplies. If you haven't grabbed them, you've got a couple minutes, you could grab them right now as we walk you through it. But the thing is, some of you might be wondering, what is mystery stamping? Or maybe you've seen other people do mystery stamping and you're wondering what our version is. So this is where we are going to give you measurements and we are going to walk you through step by step how to make the card. But it's kind of like that game of telephone that we played as a kid, where you hear the directions and you're trying to pass it on, but you don't exactly know what the end result is going to look like. So you're going to craft along with us today as we give you the clues for the mystery stamping. And then we're going to see how everybody's card comes together. So part of the fun of this, because we want it to be fun, so we're trying to remove the pressure to be perfect in our card making, because you don't know what's coming next. And so we want to create a safe place for you to try new techniques and play with your paper. You might decide to make some new choices in your color combinations or your patterns and just see where your creativity takes you. So this will be our version of mystery stamping.
And our version, I might add, just might be the easiest one you've ever done, because we just do 3 or 4 steps. We just kind of laugh, but the idea is to get you started, to be playful, to just use a few things and to do that. And you're going to love how simple and fun this is. So come with your playful attitude and we'll get started.
But one of the things we're asking in all 3 of these days is, how do we become more creative? So before I jump into our clues, we have to ask the question, how does mystery stamping help you become more creative? Because that sounds kind of weird, right? Well, we actually have 3 reasons for you. And you're going to notice we like to work in 3s. We put 3 embellishments on our cards. We have a 3-day Kickstart. We have 3 ways to get you creative. We ask
3 members on our team. No.
Yeah, 3 people on our team. So now we're going to give you 3 reasons why mystery stamping helps you become more creative. So the first one is you have to think on your feet. So you don't have a visual guide to work from. All you're going to have are the clues on the screen or the words that you're hearing me say. So you get to rely on your instincts and just interpret it however you want to. And because you don't know the final design, you're just going to adapt. You're going to go with the flow. And for some of you, this might feel a little stressful, but hopefully it's going to help open you up to more creative possibilities. And then our second reason, Karen.
To build confidence and intuition. And I also like to preface that by saying, you know, your cards don't all need to turn out. You don't even need to show them to people. You wouldn't see the ones that I don't show. It is the playfulness and the creative, but all of that, sometimes what doesn't turn out helps you realize what you like and what will turn out. And I think that's where this kind of builds that confidence. You know, you're working on the fly and you kind of get to learn your own style and kind of what works. So it's kind of fun to just be hearing something and then creating from there. So at the end, we'd love to see what you do, but you don't have to show us if you didn't like it. But that's part of the journey. I love that. I think we tend to just get really self-critical and think everything needs to turn out. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. So our last reason is playfulness and imagination. So that's really, again, we're trying to keep this light and fun. So we don't want it to be stressful for you that you don't have the sample to copy. We just want to have some fun here. So you're just going to imagine how this card might come about. You probably see your supplies in front of you right now, and maybe you've already started to visualize what you might do with it. So we're going to jump in to the mystery stamping. So once again, we gave you the supply list ahead of time, and this is what we are going to work from. So here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna share one clue at a time, and you're gonna craft along with me. So after we finish the clues, I'll share my finished card. And then if any of you want to share your cards, we're actually going to spotlight you on Zoom so that you can show us your card as well. And then I asked Karen to also make one too. So she's going to follow the same directions I'm giving you, and she's going to make a card as well. So we're going to see all sorts of versions of how this card might turn out. And I think very similar to yesterday, you might be surprised how we all use the same supplies, but we end up with very different cards. So let's get started. So your first clue is to fold your cardstock for your card base and to layer the designer series paper on one of the rectangles. So you have, let me back up. Actually, I'm going to back up for just a second. So you have a card base, 8.5 by 5.5. So you're going to score that at 4 1/4 and fold it in half. That's your card base. So I'm not going to show you my card, but this would be your folded card base. Okay. And then what I want you to do, you've got 2 pieces of cardstock and you have 1 piece of designer series paper. So what I want you to do is take the designer series paper and adhere it to one of your pieces of cardstock. So that's what we're doing here for the first clue. Attach your DSP to one of the rectangles. I always feel like right now I need Jeopardy music to be playing in the background while we do this. Because I want to like be silent, but I don't want you to think you lost sound when we're doing this. All right, so your second clue, now you're going to add both of those rectangles to your card front. So you have a rectangle of cardstock that's just by itself, and then you have a rectangle of cardstock with the DSP attached, and you're going to put both of those on your card front, however you want to do it. So this is where I said be creative, because we'd love to see how you might add these two to your card front. So you're adding, I love seeing the tops of heads. As I look over the squares, I'm like, oh, that means people are doing this along with us. So in this case, I love to see the top of your head. All right, so you're adding those two, and your next clue, you're going to stamp a sentiment on your white strip and add it to the card front. And this is where I will say you can do this in a lot of different ways. And I just want to mention what some of those might be if you're feeling stuck. I mean, you could use dimensionals, you could use glue dots, you could use your tape runners, you could use like Tombow glue. There's so many ways that we can adhere stuff to our card fronts. So we don't have to be stuck with one particular way unless you have a favorite, and then that's okay too. But lots of options for your card making. So you're going to stamp a sentiment on that white strip and add it to your card front. And as crazy as it is, we're almost done. Like Karen said, our mystery stamping is quick and easy. All right, so the last clue, add your accent piece and embellish your card. So add your accent piece and embellish your card. So what is an accent piece? Well, if you go back to thinking about the card we showed you yesterday, where Karen started with the bird would be considered your accent piece. So it could be something that you fussy cut, something that you die cut. It could be ephemera. Lots of things can be an accent piece. So just know that as well. So we're adding our accent piece and we are embellishing. So I'm going to stop sharing my slides. And okay, so just making sure I've got it. So what we're gonna do, I'm just stalling because I still see a few heads.
And I just realized I can watch chat. I don't do Zoom much. So I'm enjoying looking at the comments in here. Darcy's doing a mystery quilt at the moment, and that gets her out of the routine. It's just fun, this whole idea of
that would be fun.
Creative. And I love what Kathy said. She said, if the card you imagine doesn't look like you want it to, make a challenge to make it work. Cover up smudges, you know, kind of do whatever. I always say you can take apart again. I do card surgery all the time. Take apart the part that I did
surgery
and another and create something else. Rachel says we're going too fast. So oh, Cindy said it took 30 minutes to get in here because the message says the meeting is full. Do we have a cap on number of?
Okay.
Oh,
all right. Well, we're not trying to go too fast. So there's just those 4 simple steps. So this is why I'm stalling, because I don't want to show my card.
And if you're speedy, get up and get your drink if you couldn't find it. Somebody said she knew she had a drink around somewhere. And I thought, okay, she's describing our desks. It's
Yep. So yes, I'm going to take a drink. All right. So we added our designer series paper on the cardstock, and then we adhered 2 pieces of cardstock to the front of our card. We stamped a sentiment and we added it to the card front, and then we added an accent piece and embellished. Okay, so the first,
you put the instructions back up?
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me share this here.
You know, this is all being recorded, so you can go back. Plus, you'll get this on a PDF. Will they get a PDF with this, Holly?
Yep.
If you,
yep.
if you join the challenge, you're going to get all of this, so you'll have this written out.
Yep. So you can take a screenshot of this if you want right now. The only reason I took it down is because when I go to show my card, I'm very tiny right now on your screen, and we want you to get a good view of our cards as we share. So so you layered your DSP on one of the pieces of cardstock. Then you added both pieces of cardstock to your card front, stamped your sentiment and added it to the card front, and then accent and embellish. All right, so I'm going to take that down so that we can start sharing our cards. So here is the first sample that we have. So you can see here on the bottom, we've got one of the pieces of cardstock. Now here's what's crazy, okay? These two pieces of cardstock are the same, okay? They're the same size. But when you adhere them this way, it looks like they're totally different sizes. So we've got one vertical and one horizontal with that designer series paper. And then the snow globe here for the accent piece with the sentiment.
Can you make yourself bigger just to show your first two cards? Oh, and I'm seeing all these cards already being displayed. Is that easy to do or not?
Yep. Well, I'll have to take you off screen. So
That's okay.
Okay. So here's the first card. So again, we've got those, we've adhered our designer series paper to the cardstock. Both pieces of cardstock are now on the card front. We stamped and added the white strip and then the accent piece. So that's my first sample. And then I'm going to show you a second one. So another way to do it is to angle those. So in this case, I still have the plain one in the background there, but I've added them both just at random angles to the card front. And for this accent piece, it's an oval punch and then adding the word right behind it, the sentiment. So those are the two that I wanted to show. And what I'm going to do, if you are holding a card up, we're probably not going to be able to get to everybody just because there's a lot of people on this Zoom, but I'm going to pick a few of you and I'm going to add you to our screen so that we can see your card. So I'm going to start here with Deb Ludwig, and she has her Hope card with that beautiful flower.
Holly, I'm still just seeing all these squares of people. I'm not seeing anything bigger. I don't know if anyone else is. Or
you might need to change your view. So in the
good
upper
point.
right-hand side.
Yeah, tell everyone that because I'd forgotten that.
Okay, so in the upper, if you're on a computer, so other devices are going to be different, but on a computer, on the upper right-hand side, you'll see view, and you can change it to speaker. And what that's going to do is it's going to show you the highlighted videos that I have for you. All right. So Deb here has her two pieces.
There's no speaker view on mine, and I'm on a computer. It's still showing 1 million people.
Oh, okay. It's working on mine, so we'll do. There's like a let's see. So much to learn, isn't it?
You sounds like you're on gallery view. Whoever's talking right now, and so you need to switch when you click on view. See what other views you have.
Got it. Found it. It wasn't showing when I first went there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've got Deb's card here in front of us. I love that flower right there in the middle. That's a great way to do it. And she has really separated the accent.
We put her back on. Oh, I guess it's because when she's speaking, she's on. That's how it goes. I don't see. Zoom is new to me, you guys doing this, so bear with.
She should be on right now. You should see both of us.
I only see you. This is a learning in progress, you know.
Well, the thing is, Zoom has multiple views, and you have to find the one that puts up the pinned posts. So, unfortunately, everybody's systems are different. So, click on your view and click through the ones that you have to see what you can find. And Deb, you can unmute and tell us about your card as well. Oh, you're still there. You are, Deb.
Okay. I just put the two cardstock pieces kind of offset from each other. And then I put my greeting across the top with the little bow and the flower.
That is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Notice how she's done her rectangles different than Holly had done hers and just making them straight down. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love the words across the top and the ribbon. Thanks.
All right. So I'm going to add Carlos here. So Carlos, we can see yours. Do you want to tell us about your card?
Yes. I just use some discontinued papers, and I think I need to make an anniversary card, but I didn't have my sentiment or anything picked out. So I regularly do this. I will make a card and I use this stuff or something like it. It's Ad Tech removable tape. And then I put my sentiment on temporarily so I can take it back off and stamp it. And I also did this with the white strip down here. I can take it off and stamp it. If I make a mistake, I just cut another one. But I use this stuff a lot. I also use it to hold cards shut when I'm photographing them, because it's a real pain to keep them flat when you're photographing them. So anyway, it's AdTech, ADTECH, removable tape. I got it from Amazon, and you can buy the refills. I think it comes with one, and there are other brands too, but that's the things that I used.
All right. Thank you
Great
for
idea.
sharing,
Have your
Carlos.
cards ready? Yep.
Thank you. This is fun, but I wish you do need to. I only use a liquid glue because I had really, really bad results with glue runners, tape runners. I found out that I was using the mono tape runner, the one in pink that's permanent, and Stampin' Up still sells it. But I found out for probably several hundred cards, they all fell apart. And it was very embarrassing because I have made cards for years and years. And I used that tape runner, for about a decade. And then I started noticing that cards in my stash that have been kept in air conditioned comfort were falling apart. And then
Yeah,
I
there's
said,
definitely a lot of different adhesive options out there that we can go with for sure. So that's part of why we were talking about dimensionals and glue dots and all that kind of thing. And I see that Vesta has used some different options. So tell us about your card, Vesta.
I use that special pack.
The ephemera. Yeah.
Yes. And it had all the pretty papers with my favorite color, Pretty Peacock. So that's why I went with that.
That's
Beautiful.
awesome.
Loved it.
Simple. I just love it.
Yeah, beautiful colors.
So thank you.
Let me see here. I see another one here. Let me change this around. All right, I'm gonna have to call you Samsung until you tell us what your name is. So if you can unmute yourself. And what's your name?
Me, I'm Nancy Young.
Hi, Nancy. That's a
Hi.
beautiful card you're holding up.
Well, thanks. Very simple, very easy. And I just, as I think most of us crafters, we have a million little doodads on our craft desk of things that I do things in duplicate and triplicate if I'm cutting flowers or a leaf or something. So I just picked this up and it was a star. I have star paper there. And a thinking of you and a half a circle that I found on my table.
That's a great use of scraps.
I love it. Yes. And a great thought process just to keep
Holly,
it simple.
it's so nice to meet you. I'm sorry.
Oh, you too. I'm glad you're here, Nancy.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right, let's see. We'll do a couple more. How about Debbie here? Debbie, if you want to unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted. I just laid mine across the top diagonally. I'm in a mood right now for masculine cards because I make them for my minister at church. But I was going to tell you, I save all my little 1 and 1.5 inch strips, and it's football season. So I stamp a lot of sentiments while I'm watching football games. Then I cut them and I put them in a fishing tackle box tray to keep them separated by sentiment. So it's real handy when you need a fast one to grab one out of the box.
Ooh, that's
a great
tip.
idea.
And this has been a blast. I love doing this.
Oh,
I
that's
just gotta
great to
point out,
hear.
I love that truck. And it's not colored in. Look, just the navy and the white is just so classy. I said we could just make beautiful, simple cards. We could always add color and add things, but also simple is just stunning.
Thank you.
Oh. All right, Brenda. So Brenda, if you want to unmute yourself, show us your bird card.
This is what I had just laying on my counter, and I decided to put it together.
Love it.
I love how many of you are using what is right in front of you. That is so great.
I'm
So,
gonna quickly show my card because I use that same bird
Yeah.
paper. It's a little mileage.
give me just a second, Karen. Let me find you. Let's see, I gotta click through a few people here.
See,
All right, there you are.
Holly to do. So it's out of order. Sorry, but I just was struck by that. You know how when you're playing with your paper, sometimes you make a bunch of cards and at the end you have these leftover bits. And I thought, how fun to just do something like this and see, well, what can I make quickly with my leftovers?
Yeah.
And I can actually just put mine up by my face. It doesn't really need to be mine, or I can show that at the end. So it's all good.
Well, and we will make sure that yours is in the PDF too, so people will have yours. So,
Holly, I just want to make a suggestion. People can always raise their hand to help you find them when you're trying to get them to show their card.
yeah, that's very
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
Ooh, let's try that for a couple and see how that works.
If they speak, it'll come right, their face will come right up.
All right, so we're gonna do Michelle here.
This one with my coffee card, or is there another Michelle here?
No, you are the one. We can hear you, Michelle, from California.
I did a coffee card yesterday too, and I posted that one on the website. And I love some of the different ones though. I want to go back and do like Karen's structure and the one with the truck. Yeah, but I measured all these out last night since I did a coffee card yesterday. And I just had this out. So instead of the white, I had already stamped that little one there. Coffee with a friend is like happiness in a cup.
Oh, I love that.
That's from that stamp set with the coffee with a friend, you know, with the bench, with the two women on the bench. So lots of that, but this is all latte love. Yeah. Lemon lolly, latte love, the DSP that came with that, and an early espresso. Yeah. And thanks for putting this on. That's such fun.
Very cute. All right.
Hi, Holly.
Kitty.
Hi, Holly.
Hi. All right. Let's see. Kibi, do you still want to show your card? I put you up on the screen because I saw your card there. If you want to unmute yourself, you can tell us about your card.
Okay, my card is, I also take stuff that was on my table and I just placed the two rectangles separate from each other, and then I accent the roses from the designer paper. I will also put the message later on because I don't know what I will want to use it for.
Yeah, can you hold it up just a little bit higher so we can see it? Oh, beautiful. I love the flower that you added to it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see here. Just gonna keep clicking through some people. We got Kelly Wentworth here.
Hi, ladies. Yeah, I just went with the bird paper because I had not used that, and so you guys inspired me to pull that paper out and start using it. The element I actually had on my desk in a baggie from way past, so I thought I would use that, and I used a thank you card because I need to send out thank yous for all the orders and stuff. So I thought maybe I'd save this for closer to holiday thank you card. And I did the black and white. I also cut crumb cake And I couldn't decide what to do, and I grabbed the white, but I think I might make another one and use my crumb cake with this paper because this paper is stunning. And then I just angled my sentiment and put it on dimensionals as well as the element.
That's great. I like the element down in the corner too. That's just really pretty. I love all the different places people are arranging these.
Yeah.
And thank you, ladies, for doing all this because this has been fun.
Holly,
Good.
there's Donna Kemp trying to raise her hand. Can
Yep.
you find her?
Yep. Well, we've got quite a few people, so we're going to try to get through as many as we can, but there's a lot of you who want to share your cards. We love it.
Fun.
So,
and I'd be so stressed if I were Holly right now. I'm so glad she's doing this part.
oh, no worries. You know, I feel bad that we can't show everybody, but we're going to get a few here. So, Donna, if you want to unmute yourself, we'll see your card.
Well, I have to put it right in front of my face for it to focus. You know, I didn't realize I could use two different colors of the cardstock, so I used the same color. So to make it contrasty, I raised the panel with the snowflakes. And then I also used a die cut to put the sentiment on. So because it was so long for the sentiment I chose. Little snowmen were hand cut out, fussy cut.
Those are super cute. Not ready for snow yet, but I love the snowman card. So, all right. Should we do one more, Karen?
Sure.
Let's see if we got
we want you to post. There will be in the group too. Post your cards, whether or not you were able to share them. We still want to have a running post of what people made for mystery cards. So
yep,
this is
absolutely. Well, there will be a challenge coming here in just a moment. So let's see Hannah's card. So Hannah, if you want to unmute.
Hey, sorry, had trouble unmuting.
Oh, no worries.
I just decided to do a landscape card. I'd stamped this ahead of time from the Love and Strength stamp set and then colored it in. And I used the There Is Hope because I thought I have a friend who needs some encouragement. So that's what I did.
That is
beautiful.
Stunning. And I just wanted to say, do you see all these cards? I mean, what a beautiful place just to start with these simple pieces and look at the variety. And all of these cards were just beautiful. So thank you for everyone playing along.
Yeah. So what I hope you see as we have shared these cards and as you've done the mystery stamping, hopefully you see how our 3 reasons fit in here, where you were able to think on your feet. Hopefully you feel more confident about your card making. And then we wanted you to feel playful and use your imagination in making this card. So with that, what we want to do is issue you the 3rd challenge of Kickstart, and that is to share your mystery stamping card. So we know we didn't get to all of you on this Zoom, but we want to see all of your cards. So be sure to go to the challenge post today and share your mystery stamping card because you know there's going to be more prize winners tomorrow. And so we really want you to share that over on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, don't forget that you can always just reply to the email, the replay email you'll get later today, and send us your card that way to be entered into the challenge. So, Karen, anything else you want to add before we finish out day 2?
Yeah, I do. I want to end with a couple more comments because from yesterday, because as I said, it is my favorite thing, just reading your comments. But when we all get started with card, you have to find, okay, I love how Paulette said, I wanted a hobby where I could be creative yet not accumulate lots of stuff. Past story. And Debbie said, I started making cards 25 years ago because I thought it would be cheaper. and Sarah said that she went to card making party only because the host makes great cookies. 20 years later, her craft room is the largest room in the house. And I just wanted to say how fun this is. You know, our encouragement to all of us is to use what we have. We don't need to have the same things. Our message to the world, to all of us, is to help each other just become more creative. And I just love the idea that sometimes more than needing that new product is we need these chances to grow and learn together and the community. So thank you.
Well, and because of that, I do want to say, you know, every month we do have mystery stamping in the All Good Cards Club. So we give fresh clues, we get new ideas, and we get to learn from you as you share your cards. So we're always excited to see what you guys are making. But thank you so much for joining us for day 2 of the Creative Cards Kickstart. Be sure to check your email for the messages coming today, and then also in the Facebook group to share your cards, to get the PDF, and also just to hang out and chat with each other today. And we'll be back tomorrow with our final video of Kickstart tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central. So thanks everybody for joining us today.
And I just want to say in the comments, we love it when you comment on each other's posts and you guys start conversations. I love when I see these other conversations going on. So take this time. And that's what's fun about for Mr. Stamping, to use the Zoom, because we get to connect a face with a name sometimes. As you go along in the comments, we get to know each other that way. But these are all just levels of making friends and getting to know each other. So thank you. And I'm excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow will be our last day, but we have something really fun planned.
Absolutely. All right, we'll see you guys in the comments. Have a good day.